happening, y'all? Welcome to my channel, Libra Views. I'm Charlene.
Pull it out now. You ain't the only one with it. I'm trying to go get the cake for my daughter like it's a birthday. Can you dig? They tell me they like I do my little dance.
I know I've been gone for a minute now. I'm back with the jump off. I got goons in the truck in case something pop off, okay? So, I just have something to say. Angela Yee. Girl. You don't have no business being mad at Charlamagne, okay? Now, here at Libra Views, okay, I'm obviously a Libra, and anybody that knows astrology and knows backgrounds on Libras, we are known for being the balance. We are known for being neutral, and we are known for being able to analyze and see both sides of a situation, and that's exactly what I'm going to do and break down this situation right here. So any of y'all that have been following the news, following YouTube, and just following entertainment media, and you haven't been living under a rock, you would know that Angela Yee has been going on, kind of going back and forth with Gucci Mane, who was a rapper. And he made some accusations that Angela Yee was trying to hit on him and was trying to get his number and was being flirtatious and basically asked, years prior, but asked if she could get his hotel information so she can come to the telly and hook up with Joe. Well, of course, Angela Yee is denying this, and it's been like this whole back and forth. You know, Gucci saying that it happened, Angela saying that it's happened. Me personally, do I think that Angela reached out to Gucci and asked Gucci for his hotel information so she can show up and, I guess, you know, fool around? Do I think that happened? No, I don't think that that happened. But I do understand how Gucci could feel that way, because if you go to his YouTube page, I'm sorry, not his YouTube page. If you go to his Instagram page, if you just Google and search all of the people that have been making YouTube videos, you will see the reference video that that Gucci Mane is talking about when he says that Gucci, when Gucci says that she was flirting with him. So Angela Yee had a morning show that was called The Morning After, and I don't really know too much about the show, but judging from her lip service show, the podcast that she has now, The Morning After probably sounds like, and judging from the context of the interview when she was with Gucci, it sounds like it was kind of like a sexual show. And if you listen to lip service, you can hear that, you know, Angela Yee, she talks about sex a lot, you know what I mean? And, you know, I think The Morning After show was kind of like a sexual show. So yes, Angela Yee, she was talking about sexual things. She was asking Gucci about his sexual experiences in his life. And she was also saying things about herself, being Asian and how she got a deep puss because she's Asian, okay? Now, everybody's kind of saying, oh, you know, well, that proves that she was into Gucci. And no, not really. You know, if the morning show was about sex and she was talking about sexual things, I don't think that that kind of, you know, automatically makes her guilty of Gucci's allegations. Now, Gucci has came out, you know, ever since he's came out of jail, you know, he's drug-free, he's lost weight, he's married, he has a whole different life now. He's still the same Gucci, but he's cleaned up his act, he's older, he's more mature. So he's admitted that, you know, there has been times in the past where he was out of his mind, he was drugged out, and he has lied on people. So Angela has made good points about, you know, Gucci, if you say that you lied about this, you lied about that, you lied about this, and you can't remember this, and you were drugged out here, how is it that you can remember, you know, a conversation or a text conversation that happened almost a decade ago? I completely understand that. Now, here's the thing. Gucci said that he was banned from the Breakfast Club. Do I think that Angela Yee banned him? No. Do I think that Angela Yee behind the scenes was pulling strings to try to make sure that Gucci, you know, didn't make it up to the Breakfast Club? Yes, I do. Do I think it was like an official ban? No, I don't. Okay? So, long story short, Charlamagne, who is Angela Yee's co-host along with DJ Envy on the Breakfast Club, I'm pretty sure you guys all know this, because Gucci couldn't go on to the Breakfast Club to promote his new album, he went on Charlamagne's platform on YouTube, because, I mean, it's kind of clear that I think Charlamagne is kind of starting his own YouTube page, and he's probably sooner than later going to be branching off and kind of doing his own thing in the media, okay? So Charlamagne the God goes along and he does this interview with Gucci. Guys, the interview was 59 minutes plus. The interview was an hour long. Okay. Now, in the interview was a really good interview. They talked about, Gucci's past life. They talked about his present life. They talked about his music. They talked about, his drug life. They talked about how he was in prison. They talked about a lot of things, okay? Charlamagne the God never brought up Angela. He never brought up DJ Envy. He asked a roundabout question, and Gucci brought DJ Envy and Angela Yee up in that conversation. And not only did Gucci Mane bring Angela Yee and DJ Envy up and not Charlamagne, like I said before, the interview was an hour long. DJ Envy and Angela Yee's name didn't come up until 53 minutes into the interview. So for 53 minutes, they were talking about, Charlamagne was actually interviewing him, and it was a good interview, was interviewing him about his album, and it wasn't until 7 minutes before the interview ended that Gucci Mane took it upon himself to bring up Angela Yee.
Nothing about it, because I didn't.
Mm-hmm. How often does Gucci apologize?
Often.
Word.
Often. You wrong, you wrong. I didn't apologize to Angela Yee because I didn't, I'm not, and I hated that she said that I was gonna apologize to her, but I don't know where she got that from because I didn't do nothing to her.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't feel like I was sorry, you know what I'm saying? But if I was wrong, I would say I'm sorry. And just for the record, man, I didn't listen. I meant no disrespect to that girl. I was not trying to humiliate that girl or embarrass her, no kind of way. I was just defending myself, showing, hey, if you telling somebody that I'm banned from the radio station or declining, this is what give me the decline. That was.
People gonna see this and be like, he must be banned, cause why they not in the
man,
why they not in the studio? But for the record, he's not banned. I don't even know where that came from.
It came from that punk ass bitch, man. And DJ Envy, he's a pussy too.
Envy did it too?
Envy's pussy, man. Pussy. He was scared, wasn't even scared to come. He's scared. Where he at?
I didn't know he was supposed to be here.
He wasn't gonna come. He wasn't gonna come because the day they did that People's Court thing and you wasn't there, he was there. Him and the girl or whatever. So he ain't had the nuts to come after he did that. I knew it. I was gonna confront him too. I was gonna say, hey man, you got something to say to me? I just want to see what he was gonna say. Cause he seemed like he had something he wanted to say to me.
I don't think it's an issue.
So I'm gonna give him his, I'm gonna give him his face to face because I ain't know me and him had no issue. But I do got an issue with him too. I got an issue with him now. I'm gonna step to him. Not saying. Just like he stepped to the people who were talking about his wife when they came up there. He confronted them. So I'm gonna confront him about what him and Angela did. And if he come at me wrong, I'm gonna slap the shit out of him. But it's just on him. It ain't gonna be his first time getting slapped.
What about Waka Flocka and OJ the Juice Man?
OJ still my guy.
Now, here's the thing. As you just saw in that clip, Charlamagne didn't ask any questions pertaining to Angela Yee and DJ Envy. Gucci Mane took it upon himself, like I keep saying, to bring them up himself, okay? So, yes, Charlamagne did the interview, and I see a lot of people saying, oh, that's shady. Why would he even do an interview? Why not? Why not? Why not? He didn't do it on the Breakfast Club. He didn't invite Gucci Mane up to the Breakfast Club despite how Angela and I don't know if DJ Envy felt some type of way. I mean, he probably does now. But Charlamagne didn't bring Gucci Mane up, and just surprise the Breakfast Club. He took Gucci Mane on his own platform and had a full-blown interview on his own. I don't see how that can be shady. I take that back. I can see how that can come off as shady, but at the same time, I can see how Charlamagne took it as an opportunity to interview Gucci Mane because, realistically, Charlamagne, the Breakfast Club, those individuals have a very large platform, and although Gucci Mane may have been doing interviews since he's been released from jail, this would have been a super viral interview. So, I don't think it's wrong that, Charlamagne took the interview, okay? Now, Angela Yee is now on a lip service tour. She's on a lip service tour, and those of you who don't know, the lip service podcast that Angela Yee has on there with, I believe it's Gigi McGuire, Samantha Santiago, a real pretty Puerto Rican girl, Stephanie Santiago, and Miss L'Oreal, who's a rapper who was on Love and Hip Hop. So Angela Yee has this lip service podcast, and they talk about sex. And if you guys haven't been living under a rock, you know that this whole Tank thing has gone viral. And, you know, Tank was talking about sucking dick, you know, 2 dicks, you know, and not being gay or something like that. You know, go to Angela Yee's lip service page and watch the interview. The shit was a kiki. But anyway, so because Angela Yee has this lip service podcast, her and her co-host are now going around state to state, and they're on a tour. Yesterday, the tour was in DC. Okay, I live in Maryland, so that was kind of close. So to do promo for this lip service tour, Angela Yee went to 93.9, which is the Quicksilver show. It's 93.9 in Maryland. I listen to it all the time whenever it's not staticky. But you know, it's a DC show. Angela Yee and L'Oreal went on to the show to do promo, you know, because they were having a lip service tour date in DC, you know, yesterday, that day. So Angela Yee goes on to 93.9 Quicksilver show, and they were talking about the tour, and they were talking about lip service, and of course Quicksilver brought up the whole Gucci Mane situation. Okay, now Angela Yee had an interesting response. Okay,
speaking, of course, of the internet, Angela Yee, why have you here? Just to clear up some things, if you don't mind, and you can say quick, none of your damn business, and I won't be offended because I love you in real life, off the air. You were trending because of some remarks that Gucci Mane said. Mm-hmm. Let's start here. Is there any truth in anything that Gucci Mane said? Anybody who didn't hear what he said.
What do you think, if you know me?
I would say no. But
I mean, fortunately, people that know me in real life really would be like, come on, that's ridiculous. And, you know, I understand, like, people don't know me before the Breakfast Club, so they don't understand. I had a show where we talked really crazy all the time. Mm-hmm. And Envy used to be like, I don't know if Angela could come to FM radio because her, you know, the way she talks is so crazy.
Wild.
But I think that, like, mature adults know that you can discuss sex in conversations, and that doesn't mean that someone likes you. You know what I mean? Like, me and you could have a conversation like we just were, off camera, where we're talking about sex and things like that, and you're not like, yeah, Angela's trying to holler at me. That's not what that means. So, you know.
Pretty much what happened, you think there was a conversation had that Gucci Mane took the wrong way?
Yeah, and I think he must have been thinking about it for 10 years. I don't know.
Well, he went to prison for a while, so he did have time to think.
He's like,
just saying.
Bring this up now.
I'm just saying.
So just to clear for anybody who was wondering, because they said, Angela, she hasn't made a comment or a statement back. No, she did not sleep with Gucci Mane.
Well, yeah, and even he said that didn't happen.
Right.
And, you know, clearly, like, fortunately for me, I do have the full interview. And I think, and we were talking about this too, sometimes people take like a little snippet of something and they can try to make it into something bigger, as we saw that happen with Tank as well. Mm-hmm. And so, fortunately, if I need to, I do have, I'll let you hear it.
Ooh, the receipts?
I would love
it. Exclusive. Right.
Now,
Send me the audio now to play.
Put the receipts out.
But I'm going to let you hear it.
Okay. And so one of the things stemming from this whole interview, obviously Charlamagne sat down with him. A lot of people are saying that you all, there's some like unsaid beef between you all because he did conduct the interview with Gucci. Is that true? Any truth to that?
Would you do that? If it was you and Quicksilver, you guys, would you do that?
There would be a discussion first. Was there even a discussion?
No, but I knew he was doing the interview. I just think that in general, if you work with somebody and someone's saying things like
negative things,
nasty, like things you can't even say on the radio in a really derogatory way, whether or not you work with that person, you know, talking about a woman in that way, because I have never called anybody out of their name. Yeah. I think that's the real issue. Like, you can't just sit there and laugh when something like that happens.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I would hope that even up here for you guys, if somebody was like, oh, she's a B,
right.
She tried to S my, you know, all of that. You would be like, yo, chill. Like,
it was really aggressive.
Don't talk about a woman like that.
Gotcha.
Even if he was talking about L'Oreal, I would hope that even though they don't work together, you would be like, yo, chill.
Like that ain't cool.
That's not respectful, because it's not.
So I think we kind of got an answer to that. And I hope for the sake of the show, whatever it is, whatever beef that is happening underlying, they might work itself out. If it doesn't, I think that you're in a good space. All of y'all at the show in a good space where if things don't work out, it's not going to be the end of Angela Yee. You're fine.
Well, yeah, I feel pretty good about that. I'm a professional, though.
Yep.
So even like with everything going on, I still have never said nasty, negative things about anyone.
I respect you for that.
I say what I have to say, and people are going to keep on asking me about it, obviously, because we also happen to be on lip service tour right now. So I'm already have a bunch of things lined up. And of course, everyone's like, so we want to ask you about that. And, it is what it is. Like, you can't, And I think like even with DJ Envy, you know, him saying nasty things, like him saying he's gonna slap him and all of that.
Right.
That's definitely a one-on-one on how to make sure you don't get welcomed back in the building.
Big facts. So Angela Yee, you heard it first, of course. Like I say, no, she didn't sleep with Gucci. None of the rumors are true. He wasn't banned from the Breakfast Club, but now he might be because of some of the things he said.
Well, you can't threaten to slap someone. And how did the album do first week? Does anyone know?
Good answer. With that being said, we'll see you tonight in Silver Spring.
As you can see in that clip, you know, she basically made it clear, you know, nothing ever happened between Gucci and herself. And like I said, I believe that. I don't believe anything happened. I don't believe that she was like trying to throw herself on him. Do I think he may have maybe thought she was flirting with him? Yeah. But no, I don't think that she was, you know, throwing herself at him. But what I find funny in that clip was that Angela Yee was like, you know, hey, you know, you didn't stand up for me. When Gucci, you know, was calling me names, and when he brought me up, and when he came for me, you kind of didn't have my back. And I felt like as a co-host, you know, for, you know, loyalty wise, I guess you should have had my back. Okay. Again, Charlamagne did not bring you up. You know, Gucci Mane brought you up. And, you know, I've studied journalism myself, and I have a bachelor's degree in journalism, and I actually, you know, write for a newspaper currently. But, you know, when you're doing an interview, you're supposed to be completely, you know, objective. You know, you're not supposed to be subjective. Now, you know, when you watch the Breakfast Club shows, I mean, yes, on one hand, the interviewers do come off kind of biased. But in the scope of journalism, you're supposed to be very objective. You're supposed to let the interviewee say and express what they want. You're not supposed to be cutting them off. You're not supposed to be putting words in their mouth. You're supposed to let the interviewee be free. You're supposed to let them say what they want, because if you're dictating the interview, it's no longer their interview, it's your interview, okay? So I think it was very professional that Charlamagne let Gucci, you know, say what he needed to say. He quickly changed the subject. But I mean, let's just be real. If Charlamagne would have came at his neck, Gucci probably would have smacked him. Gucci probably would have lost connections for future interviews. I mean, there was a variety of things that probably was going through Charlamagne's mind. But, you know, again, in journalism, you're supposed to be objective, not subjective. And, you know, I think that that's what Charlamagne was trying to do. He was trying to, you know, kind of let Gucci say what he needed to say and then move along. When he laughed, I don't think that he laughed and like, oh man, that's funny. I think he was just like, like, you know, let me put some type of sound effect here because I don't want the interview to just kind of seem flat at this particular point. Like I said, he quickly changed the subject, okay? Now, Angela Yee's issue is that, you know, Charlamagne didn't stand up for her. She felt like, he could have had her back, which I completely understand. But on the same token, you know, Angela Yee, do you stand up for Charlamagne? You know, when Charlamagne is getting disrespected, do you step in? And I understand that there's a gender role. You know, there's gender roles. You know, as a woman and as a man, men are more strong and things like that. But, you know, on your podcast, Angela, you know, you do always kind of, you know, say, well, if a man does this, then why can't a woman do it? And if a woman does this, then why can't a man do it? And why a man does it? I mean, Angela, you do always put women on the same level. So you can't when it's convenient, say, well, because I'm a woman, you should have stand up for me. But in any other aspect, when it comes to career, when it comes to sex, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to this, you say that women and men are equal, and you try to equate situations between men and women as the same. You know, it's either one or the other, you know. And I also feel, you know, Angela, do you stick up for Charlamagne? Because I remember very clearly when Fredro Starr, who is a rapper and also one of the characters on Save the Last Dance, he was one of the characters on Moesha, the bad boy characters. You know, when Fredro Starr was up at the Breakfast Club and, you know, Fredro was taking his glasses off and coming at Charlamagne and cursing at Charlamagne and calling him a bitch ass nigga and saying that, you know, he was a punk and that, you know, he got ran off. I don't recall Angela nor DJ Envy saying, all right, Fredro, really, you don't have to take it there. That's kind of disrespectful. We're just trying to have an interview. Can we please move on? You guys kind of said little, 0.5 second, comments here and there, like, oh, come on, let's move on. But in the whole grand scheme of things, when Fredro Starr was reading Charlamagne down, disrespecting him and turning his chair as if he was going to attack him, nobody said, oh, come on now, like, chill, Fredro. It's not that serious. It's just a radio. Please don't disrespect my co-host. Nobody said that.
I'm not into violence, you know what I'm saying?
Me neither.
Well, the Source Awards.
They ain't give us no awards.
Performing at the Source Awards. Now, when you
Charlamagne, what happened when you got punched in the eye, B?
The guy got killed later on, but it wasn't because of me, though.
I just wanted to know.
Yeah.
that shit was mad funny.
Carl was crazy.
Sticky fingers, the devil.
Was running like this.
I had to get out of there. I mean, think about it. If it's an ambush, if you're walking into work and you know, you see
all three of them niggas. I would have stopped the fight.
No.
I would have stopped the fight, especially if I was at my radio station, nigga.
You'd have went
straight up. This your radio station.
Because you know why?
This your block, nigga.
You know why? Because I know it was an ambush.
You got ran off your own block.
I don't know what them guys had planned, so I had to get out the way.
You got ran off your own block, man. It's all good though.
It happens. It happens to the best
of
them.
Niggas get pussy sometimes.
And the worst.
I mean, you and 50 got into it.
Yeah. What? And what?
50 hit you too, right?
No, 50 ain't hit nobody.
He ain't touch shit.
50 ain't
At
touch
an
nothing,
award
nigga.
show?
50 ran, nigga, like you.
Well, why we got an issue?
Because the way you brought up some shit on some slick shit, I ain't with all that, B. I'm a real nigga.
Oh, you talking about the
Yeah, I'm talking about with that.
All right,
All right,
cool. I mean, what you want me to do? You said it.
I don't want nothing. I don't want you to do nothing, nigga. You gonna do what you gonna do.
I mean, you said it.
That niggas ain't play my fucking record up here.
I ain't heard a record.
You don't need to, nigga.
Why we got an issue, bro?
Because you brought some shit up that I ain't like, nigga, and I don't like that, nigga. I ain't no bitch ass nigga.
I ain't say you was, but you
don't
said
play
it.
me like that, nigga. Head was good though. Oh, okay, that was crazy. Breakfast Club, nigga. All right, let's get on with the interview.
I don't know what you want me to do.
You can't do nothing, nigga. You can't do nothing, nigga. That's what I'm saying, nigga. You can't do nothing, big man. You can't do nothing, nigga. I know it's all fucking good, nigga.
I ain't here for that.
Playing the garbage, nigga. Don't play me, nigga. My name is Fredro Starr. Do your Googles, nigga. What the fuck you gonna do, nigga?
All right, let's move on.
Let's move
on past that. Please.
Now, I got a question.
What?
Damn, he asked a question.
Nah, because he set the tone off with that bullshit. Check your nigga, he got checked, nigga. Pussy ass nigga.
We passed that. Let's get past that.
Punching this nigga in the eye on TV. He trying to play me.
Get past
you ain't never seen a nigga punch me in the eye ever. 50 Cent, whoever, nigga. I bangs out, nigga. Real shit. Show me a nigga who punched me in the face.
50 said he did.
What he said he did, well, I said he ain't do nothing, nigga. I said the nigga ran. Him, Tony Ayo, all them niggas ran.
And
I don't got a front, nigga.
Now, hold on. And just because you see me run on camera, what you think that's my character?
Oh, you are Kelly? Fuck out of here.
I'm just asking you what happened. What happened to them niggas who did that to you?
I mean, one of them is no longer here from what I heard.
Nothing.
Yo, let the nigga live, man.
Yeah, because that's corny. It's like we just
you bring that shit up was corny, nigga.
Yeah, exactly.
But he said it on the tape.
But don't matter though. You got punched in the eye tape, so it's cool. We even. Let's move. Let's
right,
move.
Cool, yeah,
let's
so
go.
You brought up some shit
we even.
Now with 50 Cent, what happened with 50? That y'all both from South.
What happened with 50 Cent is what happened was we ain't gonna talk about that. All right?
But why not?
Because I ain't getting paid from that no more. That's that.
Now, as you just saw in that clip, now, mind you, that interview is just hilarious. I love that whole interview. But Angela Yee, you didn't step up, and like I said, I understand, the whole women and men are different. And, there's a different respect level when it comes. I believe that. I do believe that when it comes to men and when it comes to women, you shouldn't be you shouldn't be talking to women crazy. But again, Angela, in your podcast and in your conversations, you do always seem to say, well, if a man does it, why can't a woman does it? And then if a woman does it, why can't a man does it? So if you put men and women on the same level, then you should kind of put men and women on the same level in this situation. You know what I'm saying? And, you didn't stick up for Charlamagne there. When Fredro was coming at Charlamagne, you didn't stand up for him, and neither did DJ Envy. When Fredro was calling him a bitch ass nigga and saying that he was gonna slap him and things like that, DJ Envy did not step up. And I get it, Angela, you're a woman, but DJ Envy didn't step up. You know what I'm saying? So, And you guys are right there. You know, nobody said, you know, hey, Charlotte, you know, leave him alone. Like, you know, don't disrespect him. Nobody said that. So I'm going to need people to have that same energy. You know what I'm saying? Angela, would you stand up for him if it was the other way around? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I just think Angela Yee is just pissed because, you know, Gucci is saying these things and Gucci's being extra and kind of, you know, throwing salt and slandering her name in a sense. So, you know, I understand why she's pissed, but I think you're pissed at the wrong people, mama. I think you need to be pissed at Gucci Mane for his comments and for falsely accusing you of things. But, you know, if you're not going to stick up for Charlamagne, if you're not going to tell guests and interviewees to be respectful to your co-host Charlamagne, then you shouldn't get too upset when, you know, Charlamagne kind of, you know, slides past what Gucci Mane said that was disrespectful about you. And that's my motherfucking video. Hit the subscribe button. I know you like this interview. I know you like the way I talk. You know what I'm saying? I know, you know, don't pay attention to my background. I'm about to put my curtains up. I just moved. I know I said that last video, but I work 3 goddamn jobs, so suck your mother. You know, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please come back. Libra views from a Libra's perspective. And until next time, I will see y'all later.